party people, and welcome to another episode of Where Does Food, the Food History Podcast, where your hot takes are not about the food only. I'm your host, Elle, and with me, we've got a very, very special guest. We've got Henry, the hot dog cart. Welcome to the show, Henry. How are you?
I am so excited to be here. This voice is gonna hurt.
Tomorrow is going to be rough for you, Henry, and that's okay.
I am but I'm excited, and I don't get to talk a lot, but if I did, people would hate it. Because this is, I got a voice for silent film, I think is what they say.
I think that's what they say. I think that is the saying. So Henry, what, where are you? What's your day-to-day like? Tell us a little bit.
You've never talked to a hot dog cart before, so you're wondering,
right.
What's going on? Where am I located? Well, I'm located in Chicago.
Oh, that's awesome.
And I know you're like, why doesn't he have a Chicago accent? Well, because I'm not from Chicago. I'm just located in Chicago.
That makes sense, though. Sure.
I'm actually from China, so...
Oh,
yeah, I was made and assembled in China. Then I was shipped over. Yeah.
Welcome.
Yeah, thank you. I've been here for about 47 years, but yeah, thank you.
Wow, you look so young for 47. I have to say,
thanks.
You're shining.
Thanks. Well, I've had the pleasure of being owned and operated by some really stand-up gentlemen and ladies, and they know how to scrub some stainless steel. I tell you what, they really get into my crevices.
That's
and
great.
I enjoy that.
We love that.
You ever had anyone clean your crevices? It's incredible. It's the best feeling. 10 out of 10 would do again. Probably gonna do it later tonight.
Yeah, right.
After my shift.
That's good. Yeah, that's great. Good for you. Oh, hygiene, that was great. So Henry, what are you mostly filled with? I mean, it's a hot dog cart, but is that what you're mostly filled with? Hot dogs?
Yeah, I got a ton of wieners in me. Ton of wieners.
Yeah.
Just packs and packs of wieners.
What do you know about those wieners?
Well, I don't know much about them, but sometimes they're a blend of beef and pork. I get chicken ones here and there, but the all beef ones people really like. People like the all beef frankfurters. I know they're also known as that. But I also, my guy does it right. He's got the onions and he's got all the stuff. I actually have a cartridge down below for the soda pops. People like their pop, so I got that down there. I got those cans, so that's always good. I also got I got the relish. We got the tomatoes. We got the sport peppers, and I got little hooks in the hot dog buns and stuff like that. Hey, it's the whole nine. I'm all hooked up.
I was gonna say that sounds like a full dining experience. A 10 out of 10.
Yeah, and I got the propane tank hooked up to me as
That's
well.
That's great.
That dude is gaseous, and I don't like him.
Personally. No. Okay. But you guys.
Well, he's gaseous. He's always putting gas out in the air. I mean, get out of here, kid. Come on. Have fucking manners. Quit fucking passing gas all the time. Goodness gracious.
That's true. No, that's true.
But I guess it's what keeps us rolling, so, it's part of it.
I'm glad you guys can work through that adversity and come together as a team to do that,
Yeah. We went to couples therapy, and we really worked on it together, It's
That's
good.
Great. That's great. Good. I'm glad to hear that.
I'm so excited to be here. Seriously.
We're
excited to be here.
We appreciate it. We're excited to have your insight.
Yeah, I'm so happy. I can't believe we're talking about hot dogs, and that's what's in me all the time. Just all the time. Seriously. So many wieners in me at
all day,
once.
every day.
Cannot stress enough.
I'm good. I'm good. I am excited for you. I'm excited for us. I feel like we're about to really go on a learning experience, on a learning journey, if you will. So, Henry, out of 1,131, which is the number of hot dogs that Joey Chestnut has consumed in his 17 years competing in the hot dog challenge, which occurs on every 4th of July. It's like Nathan's hot dog challenge. What's your rating? What would you say your rating of hot dogs are?
Can you say that number again that our buddy Joey did?
1,131. This man has consumed that many hot dogs.
Well, I tell you what, I'm a hot dog cart, but I'm a hot dog. I yearn for some other stuff, and I know that theoretically I should have the perfect score right off the rip, but I'm not gonna. Can I be honest with you? Can I be honest with you a little bit? Yeah. Is this a safe space?
It's a safe space for you to do that. What do you got, Henry?
I desperately want to be a hamburger stand. I just think I like the grill. I like the patties and the sizzles. And I think that's where my heart belongs. So for hot dogs, I'm going to have to give them a 700 because I do like them and I don't want to seem ungrateful to Nathan and all the hot dogs he's put in me. I really appreciate them. But at the end of the day, I'm just not the biggest fan.
Sure.
So 700, it's I think that's serviceable. It's not the worst.
No, yeah.
But they're not my favorite.
700. I feel like that's a solid, ranking of them though, or a score.
Yeah, well,
not too
I
low,
just want
not
to make
too
it
high.
clear. Everyone thinks, this guy's a hot dog stand. He must love hot dogs. He must be a stand for hot dogs because he's a hot dog stand. You get what I'm saying? You see what I did there? It's good wordplay. Yeah, stand, yeah. How do you feel about hot dogs? Are you a fan? Is that how this works?
You can ask me. I don't mind them at all, actually. I'm with you, though. I think I feel like that a 700 is a good place to keep them at.
Yeah.
Time and place for me.
We sometimes, as a hot dog stand, we've had some freaks come up and ask for them cold, refrigerated. Eating cold hot dogs? What are these people on? What is that?
I don't like that, man.
You don't eat a hot dog
what is
cold.
That?
That's crazy.
I don't like that. That's
crazy.
Absurd. Absurd talk. I don't like that. Okay. We're moving on from that terrible, terrible image in my head.
We can move on. I just wanted to give my experience.
All right, Henry. So, Henry, let's talk about your origin story a la X-Men. To get to you and what you are today, we have to talk a little bit about sausage.
Sausage. Yeah.
A little bit.
Yeah.
Sausage.
Yeah, I have a buddy that deals with a lot of sausage.
Yeah.
Envious. I heard sausage is really good. So
packing those two.
But that's usually just for the guy that works me. That's for him. Yeah, he gets tired of hot dogs. Sometimes he buys them a couple brats for himself. You know what I mean? We're not serving. We're not serving the sausages. Okay. Like I said, I have a bud. I have a bud down the street. That dude is exclusively sausages.
Is it busy?
Yeah, it's busy. He's a friend of mine, but he's kind of a dick. He kind of takes some of my stuff. I'm trying to service people hot dogs, and he's down the street, giving sausages, and people are, sure. I've heard people say that sausages are just like better hot dogs, and I don't know what that means. That's kind of bullshit.
Interesting.
So like,
it's interesting. Let's visit that. We'll visit that take later on this evening. Let's see if that's something
from what I've seen of them, they're fucking the same thing. It feels. Hey, to me, as somebody who's had them inside of them, it feels identical. It feels identical. So I don't know.
You can't tell the difference.
Can't tell the difference. I don't know what the fucking people walking around are saying, but I cannot tell the difference personally.
And I feel like you might know better than anyone.
Yeah.
Really get that inside and out. Yeah.
Especially inside. Again, cannot stress enough. They are in there.
Packed to the brim.
So let's talk about sausages.
Sausage. We have the meat. Sausage is a meat product made of finely chopped and seasoned meat, which may be fresh, smoked, pickled, or that's really pretty much about it. And it's usually stuffed into a casing. The casing is made of other animal byproducts, usually intestines, but the sausage processing methods, it's like cooking and curing. Again, that's smoking, which is the last two of here is kind of more just exposure to the smoke after the curing part. As we follow along, though, you can either also dry it and or freeze it. So sausage. Now, how old is sausage, you ask?
I bet it's older than me.
Henry's pretty old. It's older than you. It's allegedly, we found some, I say allegedly, we found some tablets in Mesopotamia in 3000 BCE. And Mesopotamia is what is now Eastern Syria, Turkey, and Iraq, right? The first description of the sausage making, we really also see it in Babylon, Egypt, Greece, and China.
Whoa. Hey, can I be honest? When I was asked to be on this show, I did a little bit of a dive into your show.
Yeah.
And you guys have talked about all those places before.
Haven't we?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, that seems to be like a big time in history for different food items. And that's super interesting.
This is... Well, I think it's interesting that you mentioned that because there's also something else that we've mentioned before, the De Re Cocorina or on cookery.
We have
from about the
listened to
4th,
that.
5th CE, right?
I mean, I wasn't there, but the guy was there.
They were there.
That handsome
So
guy
it's a recipe for
that
sausage.
does the podcast with you.
I'm glad you're familiar, Henry. Yeah, no, I really appreciate you doing your background work on this.
Yeah.
So it's they had a recipe in there: mincemeat, fat, spices, and it's forced into casing, and it was smoked. Delicious.
Yeah.
Delicious. I wanted to note that China, they also had a type of sausage around this time, lap cheong, and it was from the northern and southern dynasties, made from goat, lamb, meat with salt, flavored with green onion, bean sauce, ginger, and pepper.
Wow.
And there's a little bit of a saucy, spicy aspect. In 4th century CE, Emperor Constantine I converted to Christianity, becoming the first Roman Catholic leader to do so. In the year 320, legend has it that he outlawed pagan festivals and along with them, sausages. Because sausages were so closely tied to the feast and rituals surrounding the holidays, eating them was considered a sin by the Catholic Church. But of course, that didn't stop people from enjoying the goodness of sausages. And so people just kept eating them, but they evolved in ways. They made them and kept consuming them under the radar, regardless of what the Catholic Church said. So shout out to them.
That's wild. If you were to ask me before I got on here if sausage would have been some underground food,
I know it was a sin.
I would have said no way, no how. And turns out that it was banned at a point, fucking by some assholes.
We say this. It's like, some people would still probably consider taking sausages as a sin.
Oh,
to this day.
Okay.
Yeah.
Right.
I know.
That's a point.
Right.
Made. Yeah.
Yeah.
Me personally, I take them all day, and I don't care. Well, I don't take them all. I take them all day, but my bike down the street takes them all day. Doesn't care.
Doesn't care. Also, to that point, I'm like, speaking of people not caring now. So it said that the early North American Indians made pemmican, a compressed dried meat and berry cake. And then from the Middle Ages, various European cities came known for their local sausages, which was like Frankfurter, or it's like Frankfurt, Germany, right? Bologna, Italy.
Oh, okay.
And then Romano, Rome.
Bologna, the other white meat. I've heard that said before. I don't know what it means. I have no idea what that means. No clue.
It's okay. It's okay. Yeah. We'll take you to a grocery store one day.
Oh,
and we'll just show you all the different types. We'll roll you in there.
Do you like bologna? Is that your is that something you enjoy?
I haven't
bologna?
had it in a while. Yeah.
Oh, okay. So it's not a thing that
people
eat a lot of?
Probably do eat a lot of like fried bologna sandwiches.
Oh, fried.
Anything fried is good. Yeah.
Fried is good. As well, I've never had it, but like that's what people say. Again, I've been around I've been servicing people 47 years. People just say a lot of things.
Being on the street, you've probably heard a lot of people talk about things.
Yeah.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah, there was also a hot dog restaurant place that opened up down the street from me that used to do deep fried hot dogs.
Wow.
Yeah, boy, oh boy, did I not hear the end of that?
I'm sure. People were raving about it probably, but you're like, I'm tried and true. You'll be coming back.
Yeah.
Which I'm sure they did.
Well, people were happy about it, but weirdly enough, only when it was like 1 a.m. in the morning.
Oh.
And they were kind of, I don't know if you heard of this phenomenon, but I call it the slur hour.
Oh, yeah.
That's where everyone's slurring their words and they're all stumbling around.
The slower.
And they're really into fried hot dogs
that
for
makes
some
sense.
reason at 1 a.m.
Yeah.
I don't know.
That's a weird phenomenon. That's wow. Yeah.
I don't know what it is, but I'm a go-to like lunch spot for sure.
That's great.
For sure.
Yeah, a nice grab and go situation.
No one's fucking going to the fried dog place at 1 p.m.
That's too heavy. That's too heavy of a midday meal, if you will.
Yeah. So they can have the slur hour. I'll take the other ones.
I think that's a good trade-off. You're getting people through the day. Yeah. Very important. Yeah, I agree with that. So, Henry,
I'm what they call a healthy diet. I don't actually know if I am. I don't know.
We'll talk about that later.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay. So, Henry, on the show, we have this thing called etymology time, which is like word time. Do. I
like words.
Yeah.
I like words.
It's fun. It's words. But But before we get into that, Henry, let's take a little break.
You're right. We should take a break. I need some water.
Some oil.
Do I look like I know what a JPEG is? I just want a picture of a goddamn hot dog.
So yeah, Henry, we've got etymology time. The word sausage came from the Latin word salsis, which is just salted. But then that transitioned to the Old North French sauciche, which is the modern French saucisse, which I probably messed that up, which then took us to the mid...
No, I think you sound French as hell.
I just went higher pitch. And then the mid 15th century English would have spelled sausage, which is SAWSYGE.
Okay.
Yeah. So sausage kind of has a bad boy reputation, but everyone wants to bring it home to mama. Everyone loves it. It's good.
Everyone
loves it. But yeah, essentially that is sausage. Now,
that's sausage.
I wanted to note in the US, the Department of Agriculture, our friends over there, they specify that the fat content, different defined types of sausage may not exceed either 30%, 35%, or 50% by weight. Some sausages may contain binders and extenders. To note, some food processing industries produces a sausage at low price points. Almost any part of the animal can end up in that sausage. So, within that, varying fatty specimens stuffed with meat blasted off the carcasses, which is called mechanically recovered meat, or MRM, and rusk. So yeah.
Yeah, I heard of that.
Yeah, I did not hear that till just today. Earlier. I say earlier.
Yeah, I've heard of that on the yeah, so I heard a guy once walking by, definitely just still me, Henry the hot dog cart. But I heard a guy once talk about how pizza rolls, I don't know what those are, but some guy was telling me pizza rolls and other items like that typically contain mechanically separated meat items in them, and those are a constant in manufacturing process. So, take it for what you will. I don't know if that dude was a guy who knows what he's talking about, but I'm a dude telling you about the other dude talking about that dude. So,
yeah. So now, on that note, there is natural casings that you can have on sausages. And it's replaced by collagen, cellulose, or even plastic casings that you can have in it. Yeah.
I'm sorry, what?
Okay.
So
you gotta take that plastic casing off, before you decide to eat it for obvious reasons.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. Because here's the thing. Plastic, that don't go in me.
Don't go in you.
I don't really like it. So I just assumed that you guys didn't like it.
That's fair. No.
But hey,
no plastic for you.
Okay.
No plastic protection for you, but
I'm hearing that you guys actually eat sausages with plastic.
I mean, I personally haven't, but maybe in other lands. Okay. But yeah,
that's interesting.
So I thought something that was wild to me in my ignorant ways is that their countries across the world have different types of staple sausage. It's not just in it's not just in the European countries and Italy, and it's kind of all over the world. So yeah, Brunei, they have bulatock, which is their traditional beef. It's made with minced beef, tallow, marinated with garlic, salt, chilies, and spices, and then stuffed into a cow or buffalo's small intestines. It's probably delicious.
Sounds
and
good.
then it's fermented and dehydrated. In Thailand, they have they have soas ua, a grilled minced pork sausage flavored with curry paste and fresh herbs. And they have another grilled sausage, sai krok asan, which is fermented sausage, and that hails mostly from northeastern Thailand. And then talk about things exploding. So Britain and Ireland.
I knew a guy that would love fermented sausage because he likes fermented things. Yeah, I know a guy that might like that.
I'd be interested to try it. I'd be curious to try. Yeah. I've never had a fermented sausage before, I don't think. So
me neither. Yeah. I actually don't love the idea of meat and fermentation.
I would try it. I would try it. Right, yeah. That's a good point though. So sausage is it's a pretty big part of food culture out in Britain and Ireland. So you've got British sausages and Irish sausages, right? And it's like pork, beef, venison. You've got herbs, spices. And then sometimes they'll even have like a rusk or bread rusk in there as well. And then you're either going to just fry, grill, or bake them. So this is the fun part. So this is where they've got the filling compressed by twisting the casing into concentrated links into the sausage skin, traditionally made from impaired intestine from a slaughtered animal, most commonly pig. Due to their habit of often exploding because of their shrinkage and its tight skin, they're referred to as bangers, particularly when they're most accompanied with mashed potatoes. And that's where you've got bangers and mash, or the critically acclaimed song by, was it Infant Sorrow? The band Bangers and Mash.
That is some good history.
Right there.
I heard a dude say bangers and
Bangers
mash.
and mash. That's what they're talking about.
Never knew where it came from.
And then pigs in a blanket. It was really you had the small sausages, but they were wrapped in bacon, and were usually.
Oh.
Yeah, they accompanied in the turkey at the Christmas dinner, like the roast. It was a side dish.
Okay, so I heard a guy say pigs in a blanket were wrapped in croissants. How the fuck did we go from that to croissants?
I don't know, but I appreciate the transition because that was probably super salty. That's an episode. That'll be an episode for another time.
For another episode.
Yeah, that'll be an episode for another time.
Hey, maybe I could come back for that one. You guys haven't had a repeated guest
Henry.
before, but this voice is a voice for podcasting.
Not silent movies like you said, but yeah, we would love to have you back anytime.
Well, that's good to hear because people tell
Sure.
me my voice is
Sure.
for silent films,
Yeah.
but I think I'm crushing.
You're doing great. But yeah,
Much better than that other guy that's usually on here.
yeah, you.
Although I heard he's handsome.
Oh, Henry, you're being modest. You're being
Yeah,
modest.
I never seen the guy.
Your shine.
Doesn't have much of a social media presence.
You let him know that. You take that up with him. Incredible. Scotland, they have a square sausage known as a Lorne sausage. They roll the sausage and then they pretty much just like make it to where it's a rectangular block, and then they just slice off individual portions.
Right, I guess that makes sense. There's no reason why you can't
Right,
have it square.
I know.
It's just ground up meat.
You can just do whatever you want to do.
You can honestly put it in any shape you
Any
want.
way you want it. But yeah, so then you've got.
That's the way you need it. I heard that on a iPod once.
Oh yeah, an iPod.
Do people carry iPods?
I forget. The click of the scroll wheel just like played in my head.
Like an iPod.
You sure it wasn't your Zune?
Yeah. It's my Zune
It
touch.
was your Zune touch. Oh my goodness. Yeah. So France, they distinguish between saucisson, which is uncooked sausage, and saucisse, which is fresh sausage that needs cooking. It's usually pork. But then you also have like boudin, which is like that pudding, which we've talked about before, like black pudding, red pudding. Germany, frankfurters, wieners, bratwurst. We'll talk about them in a little bit here. And then Italy, of course, they've got Italian sausages, or salami, right? Like deliciousness. So yeah, that is that. Poland, they have kielbasas, also delicious, usually made from beef. So that's that. But I'm going to wait to go somewhere. Mr. Henry, I want to take a second to discuss our Nordic countries in the United States, because this is where the music starts to swell. This is where your time starts.
Well, that's so exciting. Again, I'm from China. I'm not from any Nordic countries.
Okay. Anyways, so we've got it's what you're filled with. I figured you'd want to know.
Oh, I'm filled with the thing that, okay, the music's starting for the wieners that I'm filled with. Gotcha.
Yeah.
That sounds good.
Yeah. The montage.
I should have picked up on that. I'll get better. This is my first podcast.
It's okay, Mr. Shine. You're fine. It's okay, Henry. So we've got pulse, pulse, pilsa, curve. Usually made from 60 to 80% finely ground pork, and they're sparse with pepper, nutmeg, allspice, or similar sweet spices. Ground mustard seed, onion, sugar may also be added as well. Water, lard, rind, potato starch flour, and soy or milk proteins are often added for binding and filling. In southern Norway, grilled and wiener sausages are often wrapped in lompe, potato flatbread, similar to a lefse. I've chopped all this up. Now, virtually all sausages will be industrially pre-cooked and either fried or warmed in hot water by the consumer or at the hot dog stand. Hot dog stands.
That's
yeah,
me.
hot dog stands are apparently ubiquitous in Denmark. And people regard the pulsar as one of the national dishes, which is usually alongside the medisterpølse, a fried, finely ground pork and bacon sausage.
Well, that sounds good.
That is good, right? And then you've got the Danish boiled sausage that often has a casing that has a strong, bright red dye on it. It also called the Wiener Pulser. A legend has it that it originated from Vienna, where it was once ordered the day-old sausages be dyed as a means of mourning. Smart.
Well, I definitely have heard of Vienna.
Yeah.
For sure.
Yeah.
Yeah, a lot of the wieners
Special time
in
there.
from Vienna.
Yeah. Good.
Yeah.
Good, Henry.
Yeah, well, I heard they make the best. So I only want the best inside of me.
That's a
at
good
all
way to,
times.
yeah, that's a good motto. It's a
Yeah.
good way to live by. I agree with that.
Yeah. Although I don't control what goes inside of me,
No.
so I've had worse.
Okay.
I've had bad ones. I've had good ones.
But now it make the bad ones make you really appreciate the good ones.
It does. I've had Ballpark, and then I've had Nathan's. So two different qualities. One of those is bad. One of those is good. And I'll let you make the decision.
Make the decision over here.
Not to ruin any sponsorship deals in the
Aha.
future.
So yeah, this brings us to the United States. Perfect timing. North American breakfasts or country sausage is made from uncooked ground pork, breadcrumbs, and usually salt mixed with pepper, sage, and other spices. You can usually get it in the grocery stores with that large synthetic plastic casing on there, or a protein casing, which is usually what you have because it'll dissolve in that hot water or the heat. Yes. So this style of sausage is similar to the English style that you would have seen in like the colonial days of North America. And then you've also just kind of like several varieties of that now, right? Like pork and oats, meat and grain, liver mush, pork and liver, cornmeal and rice. Most of these were delivered.
Liver mush is my nickname in high school.
Pork and liver and cornmeal or rice. Liver mush. Okay, got it. All were developed by German immigrants. So shout out to them. And then you've got Louisiana,
Shout out to the Germans.
and Dewey sausage, kind of like a variety native to the north of France, but it's very different. It's using pork butt and not tripe. Tends to be a bit more spicy, right? And then it's also heavily seasoned with that cayenne and that black pepper. And then you had your hot dogs, right? You know, as frankfurters or wieners, most commonly pre-cooked sausage in the U.S. and Canada. And you've had a variation of that, a corn dog, just deep fried hot dog with cornmeal batter served on a stick, delicious. And then in a common regional meal is a pork roll, which is like a usually thinly sliced, and then it's kind of just like a breakfast meal. Then
Sounds
circle.
delicious.
It sounds delicious. You've got types of sausages were culturally imported from Germany, and it kind of just became, as all good foods that we've seen, it became popular in the United States because it was a working class street food. You could get it on the street corner. You could also get it at baseball games, which made it strongly entrenched with like Americana, going to the baseball game, get a hot dog. That was considered American culture. And then also like it's kind of almost ubiquitous as like New York City and getting a hot dog. Now that's expanded, right? But like you get your Chicago dog, like you are where you're at, Henry. Yeah, right.
I've been in New York before.
Yeah. Do you have a preference on which one you like, Chicago or New York?
Well, they're both assholes, so.
Haha. Shots fired.
No, I like the Chicago dogs myself. I like one because I got some fresh ingredients in me, which is nice. I didn't always have those in my life. But it's nice. It's nice to have some fresh tomatoes and it's good.
That's good. No, that's good, and we want that because that'll definitely help. The most common hot dog sausage ingredients usually include meat trimmings and fat. flavorings like garlic, salt, paprika, and then preservatives, usually sodium ethorbate and sodium nitrate. Pork and beef.
Hey, I heard that gives you cancer.
Yeah, we'll talk about that. Pork and beef are traditional meats used in hot dogs. The less expensive hot dogs, as we kind of mentioned before, are often made from chicken or turkey using the MRMs, mechanically separated poultry, as well. And then we've got changes in meat technology. Dietary preferences have led manufacturers to lower the salt content and use turkey, chicken, and vegetarian meat substitutes.
All right.
All again, add in the commercial prep of these. You're mixing meat, spices, binders, and fillers in vats where rapidly moving blades grind and mix the ingredients in the same thing, right? And then that mixture is forced through tubes and casings for cooking. Most hot dogs in the U.S. are skinless rather than natural casing sausages. So that's why you can just throw them in some water and eat them. Right, Henry?
Yeah. Good old dirty water dogs.
Dirty water dogs, exactly. Apparently they're better than freshwater dogs. Yeah.
They are. Yeah, you let them soak in their own juices.
Sure, it's like marinating.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Guy down the street that does the sausages, his shit gets cooked in beer.
Oh, that's wild.
Yeah.
Okay.
Now, I've never had beer, but it gets cooked in it, and I heard it's good. I heard people say they really like it.
I heard it's good. Let's talk about how this kind of came about. So Frankfurt am Main, Germany, is traditionally credited with the originating of the Frankfurter, right? However, the claim is disputed by those who assert that the popular sausage known as a dachshund or a little dog sausage was created in the late 1600s by Johann Georgenhunter, who was a butcher who lived in Coburg, Germany. According to the reports, Guggenheimer later traveled to Frankfurt to promote his new product.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
But it still happened in Germany.
Germany is where.
Yeah, so who cares?
It's where it happened.
Yeah.
So there's also part of the hot dog lore, Henry, is that Charles.
I like the sound of that. I'm gonna get that tattooed on me.
Get it
I'm gonna
tattooed
get
on you.
I'm gonna get that laser etched onto my
Your
car.
lore.
Hot dog lore.
Hot dog lore. That's a good band name. A possible origin stories for the sausage and the rolls is Charles Feltman, and what other place than Coney Island in New York City? So this is right? Okay, the lore is beginning. In 1867.
I've heard of Coney Island.
In Coney Island, yeah, most people have, right? Okay. Take a ride on the Ferris wheel.
Well, yeah, I'm a cart.
They just hook you onto that. So in 1867, he had a cart and he made it with a stove on which to boil sausages, right? And then he had a compartment which kept the buns fresh and, till they were ready to serve. And then in 1871, he leased land to build a permanent restaurant. And then he was just selling other things, but he was mostly selling these things called Coney Island Red Hots, which were the hot dogs that he was known for. So that's Charles Feltman. Then you had a German immigrant named Furtwängler from Frankfurt. He allegedly pioneered the practice in the American Midwest. According to one account, his wife proposed the use of a bun in 1880. He then sold hot dogs on the streets of St. Louis, Missouri, and he provided gloves to his customers so that they could handle the sausages without burning their hands. He was losing money on the people not returning the gloves, and that's when his wife was like, no, seriously, put it in a roll and you'll be good to go. So then...
Okay.
Yes.
Okay.
So it's sent to Mr. Antoine Furtwängler or Anton Ludwig Furtwängler.
Every success story is someone realizing a gap in the industry that no one else is thinking of.
Every time.
And that lady said, why in the fuck are you giving out just fucking hot dogs?
Yes.
To bare hands. They're boiling hot. Put them in something.
So it said that he introduced these sausage rolls at either the World's Fair in 1904 in St. Louis or the one in 1893 in Chicago. Of course.
Yeah.
Of course.
I believe this is the time in the show where you guys say, just based on my little
Right,
bit of listening
yeah.
before I came on, Chicago,
Great American City, Chicago. Absolutely. Recognized game. Chicago, Great American City. Then in 1901, Harry M. Stevens, who is a food concessionaire, what a name, apparently in the New York Polo Grounds. It's incredible. He had the idea of using small French rolls to hold sausages and then because whenever they ran out of wax paper, put them in the sausage rolls.
I would have never guessed that apparently before the bun, we were just handing hot sausages to people.
I know.
All of my owners have used tongs to take them out of the boiling hot fucking water. I would just assume that we were not handing those over to complete strangers with no fucking gloves on. But sure.
No, yeah. Apparently we need to figure out when tongs were invented because
based on just the idea of buns only being introduced to stop touching hot food, I'm assuming tongs didn't exist until 2001.
That's what it sounds like. That is kind of what it sounds like. You're right, Henry. You're not wrong about that. It's apparently a very modern marvel. Whoever created tongs made bank. That's all I can tell you.
Or they didn't, because that's typically how it goes.
So I do want to mention some scandal in this lore. So apparently dog was used as a synonym for sausage since the 1800s. But apparently this originated from accusations that sausage makers were using dog meat in their sausages.
Oh, God.
Apparently, allegedly, the German consumption of dog meat was common in Saxony, Sicilia, and Bavaria during the 19th and 20th centuries. Early time. Also, right. So according to one story, this is a bit better, the use of the phrase hot dog in reference to sausage was coined by a New York Journal sports cartoonist, Thomas Aloysius Tad Dorgan, around 1900. Vendors were hawking hot dogs from portable hot water tanks, shouting, "They're red hot. Get your Dachshund sausages while they're red hot." Tad observed the scene and he drew the cartoon out, but he didn't know how to spell Dachshund, so he just wrote hot dog.
That's my
guy. I like that. Yeah, I like that a lot.
Yeah, it's good. Didn't know how to spell a word, made up another word.
And it worked, and it's stuck. So Tad, thanks Tad. But yeah, so then you've pretty much just got hot regional hot dogs, like the New York. You've got the beef frank, the sauerkraut, the spicy brown mustard. Usually throw some onions on there. In Philly, you've got a Texas Tommy. It's like a frank with melted cheese, cheddar, wrapped in bacon.
That sounds good.
Right? You got your Chicago style, like our friend Henry here. Poppy seed usually topped with mustard, tomatoes,
that
onions.
one's going to have a poppy seed bun, mustard, tomato, the relish, got the sport pepper.
Delicious. It's so good. And then, of course, you've got...
Do not put ketchup on the hot dog.
You can't put it on a hot dog like that. You can't do it.
We don't even offer the ketchup.
You can't do it. But you can find a hot dog. You got anywhere, right? It's like an all-American street food, quote unquote. You can go to sporting events. You're gonna get a hot dog there. 7-Eleven apparently sells the most grilled hot dogs annually in North America. 100 million 7-Elevens. But I feel like they've concentrated the market, so maybe that's not a fair assumption.
Well, that feels like a good retirement plan for me. Maybe I'll just end up in a 7-Eleven.
Maybe you will, Henry.
Just selling the most dogs to the most people.
Rolling on that grill. You'll be converted. Yeah, that's true.
That's the dream.
So you mentioned it earlier, but before that, we've talked about this previously. Is a hot dog a sandwich? Technically, because it's a meat between two buns, right? Or a bun.
Right. I definitely didn't talk about that, but I know that other handsome host did.
Right. So, the National Hot Dog and Sausage Council, they have declared that a hot dog is not a sandwich.
Wow, that's
big. Joey Chestnut.
That's big.
Has even come out and said, yeah, no, it's not a sandwich. Takuro Kobayashi, who's also a hot dog eating champion, he also came out and said, yeah, no, it's not a sandwich. Merriam-Webster, though, the dictionary people, they say it's a sandwich. Let the people decide.
Now, wait a minute. Now, I just want to ask, what is the clarification for it not being a sandwich?
They didn't really provide one.
What is...
It's just not one.
Okay. I'm not going to lie to you. I haven't been doing this for long, but that to me is it kind of lightens their case a little bit. It just sort of seems like they're digging their heels in the mud and wanting to say, no, it's not a sandwich. But they can't explain why it's not a sandwich. I firmly am in the camp that a hot dog is a sandwich.
I mean, I kind of agree with you. Not kind of, I do agree with you.
Because it's a sandwich. It's between buns.
Technically, yes. Therefore, it's a sandwich.
Therefore.
I'm glad you agree,
It's a
Henry.
sandwich.
I'm glad you agree. I feel like you also would know because you deal with hot dogs on a
Listen, if we can make
day-to-day
a
basis.
meatball sub a sandwich, then why can't hot
Then why
dogs
wouldn't it
be a sandwich?
I agree. I'm with you. Okay. I'm glad we're on the same page about this. Something that I don't know if you're going to be on the same page about also, on a somewhat serious note, hot dogs apparently are high in fat and salt, and they've got preservatives. They've got the sodium nitrate, the potassium nitrate, and those nitrate-containing chemicals have been classified as Group 1 carcinogens by the World Health Organization. Not great. Although, this has been disputed. So, because of this, though, like some manufacturers have decided to go maybe like turkey and chicken, like uncured, low sodium, like quote-unquote all natural franks. Hot dogs have a relatively low carcinogenic heterocyclic amine levels compared to other types of ready-to-eat meats because they are manufactured at lower temperatures. So if you're going to go that route, they're not necessarily the worst. But we did have to mention it because you did mention it earlier on in the episode.
Yeah.
So to Henry, I had to pull that out. But Henry, we've kind of reached the end of our hot dog journey.
I've also heard propane's not very good for you guys.
I mean, it's fine. We grow with it.
It's in my ass currently.
Yeah, it's fine.
So
it's fine.
But you said we reached the end of hot dogs?
Yeah, we've reached the end of hot dogs. Hot dogs and our sausage journey. We've linked it all up. Haha.
I gotta say, that's a good pun.
Haha.
That's a good one.
Thank you.
I have to say that was far more expansive than I was originally thinking. That's also because I'm a hot dog cart. I don't really think about this stuff that much. And the other reason is I'm just kind of blown away with how global. Which I don't know why I've never thought about this, but how global sausages and hot dogs are.
Same.
That's interesting.
I think
for that reason.
Yeah, Henry.
I have to go up.
Oh, great.
From 700 to 850.
Wow.
It would have been a 900, but let's be honest, the cancer thing, it kind of weighs heavy.
It was a little bit. It was kind of a sour note to end on, but it had to be noted. Had to be noted. Yeah. Okay, I'll take that though. You jumped up. I'll take an 850. Yeah, to your point, I didn't realize how global this type of food was. I feel bad for not realizing. But yeah, that's hot dogs and sausages. Henry, do you want to take us out? You think you're ready for that?
Yeah, I think I can take us out.
Okay.
I know you guys have been ending on a wreck your beal. So here's my recommendation.
Okay.
I'm so excited that I get to do a recommendation. Here's my recommendation.
Here's your recommendation.
Put some wieners in you. Seriously, good time. Seriously, good time. I do it every day, and it's a great
time for you.
That's my recommendation. Put some wieners in you. Elle, do you have a rec?
It's kind of similar to that. No, if you wanna even if it's not your birthday or a special occasion, go treat yourself. Get that cake. Get that ice cream cake. Get that cookie. Decide to, get that brownie batter. Decide to make some brownie. You know what I'm saying? Treat yourself. Who cares if it's not a special? Just do it.
Treat yourself.
If you want to stuff yourself with wieners, do that.
So that's the two recs. Treat yourself with some wieners inside you. That's the end of the podcast. Listen, I also listened to Maurice's episode, and that guy kind of sucked at the shout-outs. So I'm ready to roll right into it. Here we go. The music playing right now, currently in your ears, you have heard from the other guy, the other host, Tim, but also in collaboration with Austin Martin. You should check out his stuff. Meridian Sky. He just dropped an album. I listened to the most recent episode,
yes.
and I just learned that he dropped an album, so that's good.
Pretty
you should
cool.
go listen to it. You can also check out this podcast on the internet.
What?
You can go to the internet, which, by the way, I do know what that is because
Incredible.
I have the internet hooked up to me to take cash or credit
Incredible.
card payments.
That's how we like it.
You can go to shows.acast.com/where does food. That'll be the website. Check that out. See all of the episodes. That's also where you can press that little Acast Plus button. And if you do that, you will support this podcast for $5 a month. With that support, you get episodes a day early and ad-free if there are any ads. That's a deal.
It's a huge deal.
You can check the other host, that guy, Tim. You can check him out on Instagram at Tim_and_Winston. He's also on Threads, so you can check him out there as well. You can also check out the podcast on Instagram at Where Does Food. I was told in advance we are not doing a Twitter shout out. Fuck that place. That's what I'm just reading the notes sent to me.
All right.
Fuck Twitter or X. That's what it says. No one knows what to call it anymore because there's a dumb rebrand and
Twitter.
we are no longer over there. Like we are, but like we're not using it. I don't know if you knew that, but that's what I was saying.
That's
So
what.
there
No,
you
yeah,
go.
yeah.
Where can they find you, El?
On that Forsaken website. So, at El Chapo.
Okay, on Twitter X. That sounds good.
Twix.
At El
Twitter.
Chapo with
At
the 3
Twix.
underscores.
At Twix.com.
At Twix.com. Go to Twix.com. Choose the left one. Yeah, I know about that whole ad campaign. Guys, you can also support this podcast by leaving a review. That's right. If you think this show is good, I don't know why you would, but if you do, you can leave us 5 stars. And you can say, wow, this show is so informative, and they do stupid voices.
But it's
So
still
go
informative.
Check them out. And it's somehow still informative. You can also force your friends and family to listen to the podcast at any time by simply locking them in your trunk and playing it loudly through your car stereo overnight. And if they do that, you'll get to this episode eventually, and then it'll be like audio torture because you gotta listen to this fucking voice for half of the episode.
It's great.
And that's always fun. So I believe that's it. That's all the episode shout outs. So yeah, go enjoy yourself, treat yourself, and get some wieners in ya.